Hello, and welcome to the first edition of the Art of Videogames series. I'm Annie Mock, an author, illustrator, and YouTuber, as well as occasional video games maker. The Art of Videogames series will be personal and informative journeys through gaming, focusing on games made and stories told with craft, care, and fun. I lean towards the casual side of gaming myself, and rarely finish the games I play because I'm old. I'm 31. I'm not as good at games as I used to be, when I could just dissociate wildly and have all the time in the world when I was a kid, but that's another story for another day. I avoid the special stages in these particular games because they're a pain in the ass, by the way, so if you're wondering why you don't see them, that's why. I bought these three games in the early 2000s, and I even purchased Sonic Advance again at too many games this past year. Now I'm emulating them and playing them with my Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. Today we focus on the first Genesis Sonic games and the Sonic Advance trilogy for the Game Boy Advance from the 2000s, among the first Sonic games to grace Nintendo systems, something unheard of during the console wars of the 90s. Picking up where Sonic and 3 and Knuckles left off, Japanese developer Dimps brought Yuji Naka's platformers into the new millennium, using the designs from Sega Dreamcast Sonic Adventure games. This video goes into a little bit of my history with the Sonic series and thoughts on the 2D platformers, leaving off with the relatively new Sonic Mania for another video in the future. It won't be such a deep dive into the Sonic Advance series, as Some Call Me Johnny's video on the topic is, linked in the description below, but more of a personal look, particularly on the character art. Back in the early 90s, I saw the original Sonic at a New Jersey beach house of some friends of my parents. I had seen nothing like it. He was, the cliche goes, so cool and so fast and so worlds apart from Mario Brothers. Developer Yuji Naka has said that he played Mario very fast, speedrunning it as many people then did, in order to trump the problem of having no save file in the game. Now, Sonic 2, I played extensively at my cousin's house in Long Island. Tails, the little fox with two tails, is the cutest, and to this day I wonder if he's gay, because he seems like he's in love with Sonic, always following him around. His songs in the 3D Sonic Adventure game for Dreamcast feature songs about following my best friend, and believing in him, and believing in myself too. And I just love it. Behind us, you're hearing some songs from each game. The past was the Chemical Plant Zone song, of course. Sonic 3 and Knuckles I owned a PC port of, and thus was mine to obsess over. I love Knuckles the best, and he glided his way into my heart. Sonic 3, unlike the other two, begins with a story. Sonic, in his supersonic Super Saiyan form, rushes into Angel Island only to be trumped by Knuckles, who's a trickster kind of character within the context of this game, though by Sonic and Knuckles, the semi-sequel that could be physically locked on, the cartridges would just, as they say, fuck each other, and they would lock on and make one giant story. And by then, Knuckles was a hero of his own. And his cool factor, his fun factor, made him such a joy to play. And he and Sonic, even though Sonic and he didn't appear much together often, made a perfect tag team just like Sonic and Tails did. Now, the Sonic Advance trilogy, the main topic of today, begins with Eggman and the Chaos Emerald. Eggman, previously known in America as Dr. Robotnik, but now taking on the Japanese name of Eggman, during the time of the Sonic Adventure games for the Dreamcast, takes the Chaos Emerald, and then we meet the team. Sonic, the basic speedster, Tails, the miles Tails per hour, the cutest, who can fly, Knuckles, the echidna, the coolest, who can glide, and Amy Rose, the hedgehog, who can hit with her hammer and do nothing else, unfortunately. The visuals captivate me to this day. I love that indie developers like Shanhan Tani and Shoni Kataka of Even the Ocean, or Toby Fox of Undertale, made a return to pixel-based sprite work in video games. Many 2.5D games such as Sonic 4 leave me cold. The animations here display a level of care and finesse that was lacking even in the Genesis originals, and wasn't to be seen again in 2D until Sonic Mania. The classic multiple pathways of Sonic games remain intact, rewarding multiple playthroughs. And as the classic Sonic games logic dictates, the higher that you stay up on the pathways, the more goodies, as Some Call Me Johnny notes, remain available to you, and thus making Tails a great first choice for early players to platformers like this one, particularly fast ones, unlike Mario. If you've somehow never played a Sonic game, real quick, the plot of every Sonic game is that dastardly Eggman has stolen the Chaos Emeralds and imprisoned cute animals inside robot automaton henchman bodies. Sonic has to free the animals from Eggman's clutches, getting the Chaos Emeralds in the process, all while collecting rings for health and going really fast. The other characters make up the main characters from the era up to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, including Amy Rose from Sonic CD. Miles Tails per hour comes from Sonic 2, and this cute boy can fly with his two tails somehow and roll like a ball into a hedgehog little form somehow. Alex from the Beard Bros has posited that perhaps Tails has weird butt muscles that allow him to fly. Knuckles, who I made a comic about called Lock On Memories, which is in the book Annie Mock Loves Video Games, can glide and climb. Cream the Rabbit is a new one. She's cute, and that's about it. She has a Chow friend, and perhaps she debuted in Sonic Adventure 2, I'm not actually sure. And Amy Rose hits things with her hammer, and again, that is unfortunately all that she can do. Sonic Advance 2 focuses on speed and is a worthy entry in the series. Boost trails form behind you if you're going fast enough. The camera actually pans in these games, unlike the classic Genesis Sonics, leading to better sight lines, better ability to see what's going on around you, so that you don't have as many stupid deaths as you might have had in the Genesis versions with less visibility. Sonic Advance 3 introduces an interesting partner mechanic, but ultimately falls somewhat flat due to its awkward level design. However, the voice acting charms, similar in tone to the Sonic Adventure series. I'm not over the moon about this one, but I still decided to talk about the Sonic Advance trilogy because, similarly, I love the Star Wars trilogy, but I'm not over the moon about Return of the Jedi. In the end, what I think makes me come back to these games is the charm of the character animations and the strength of the music. I think these games sit comfortably among the classic Genesis trilogy in terms of quality.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you can support me in a few different ways, all linked down in the description below. You can become my patron on Patreon for $1 plus a month. You can buy the PDF of my book, Annie Mock Loves Video Games, or buy a game of mine, The Haunted Nintendo, for $1. at Gumroad, or you can order the Animok Loves Video Games physical book off Big Cartel. And like, comment, subscribe if you want. That's a great way to support me and my work. I'd like to thank my housemates, like my frequent collaborator TJ Delish, and my YouTube influences, Egoraptor and Game Grumps, some call me Johnny, Fanatics4, The Wolf Den, Gerard the Completionist, King K, and a number of others. Thanks for watching, and I hope you share some art with someone today.